before I get started with my comment, I want to remind y'all that Oprah Winfrey 10 years ago, I think it was either this month or it was September, October. Yeah, I think it was September 10 years ago, interviewed Katherine Jackson, Paris, and her siblings. And Oprah was all up in them smiling like how she loved them and everything. And I remember reading that one of Tito's sons, or all his sons, and I think some of Michael's siblings had issue with Oprah speaking to Michael's children and his mom. And I told you guys over the years that Oprah was disrespectful to Michael's father. Like, why is he here? And the thing is, knowing that Michael didn't want the kids to be interviewed, Oprah went against the man's wishes, even though the man was gone now. He interviewed, and then 10 years later, or over the course of the 10 years, she would make little snide comments, just like she did after she interviewed Michael back in, 93, 94, around that time. And then she gets up and she sits down with 3 white men who are obviously lying, because everybody sees it, but the American media is so hell-bent on staying on a narrative that this black man molested these kids. And I want y'all to remember, look how chummy she is. But she turned around and didn't give a damn about Michael kids today. And I keep telling y'all, anybody use common sense, anybody who knows about child molesters, they have images. They have some type of thing they have kept as a souvenir. They raided Michael Jackson's house more than once. They raided places where he had homes across the U.S. I didn't know until maybe about 5 years ago that Michael had a place in Chicago. That he had places in New York. He had places where he would go, to decompress and stuff. And the man was hounded. And the thing is, the man could have easily flown to any parts of the globe where they couldn't touch him. He could have did what other rich people did and bought him an island and lived on an island somewhere and could have did all he wanted. But a lot of us forget, and that's why I say history is very important. Control your doubt, know your history. You have to pay attention what's going on in the news, because I remember when this whole thing with Michael started, there was reports and conflicting reports and actual documents and audio of the father, Jordy Chandler, talking about how he was going to set Michael up. And somehow we as a country have seemed to forgot about that. And it's obvious that Michael Jackson was set up. Now, my thing is, people say, well, Michael shouldn't have been around a bunch of people, children. True, because we live in a society where we think the worst. But there are a lot of people who love being around children. We never question their presence. But then we follow a month or year, we say, we saw that, we should have seen that happening. Nobody questioned teachers when they say, I love being around children. Nobody ever questioned Walt Disney and for creating cartoon characters or amusement park for basic children. Their imagination, or question Mr. Rogers' love of children. You know what I mean? But as soon as a black man shows it, oh my gosh, he's a pedophile. Now, as I said before, black people, black men in particular, we got to walk a different walk. And yes, if Michael Jackson was alive, or I can go back in time and say, hey, Mike, you know what? I know what you try to do, but people see it in a more nefarious way. I will pull it back, man. But and I could hear him saying, it just, I love children. Yeah, we get it. Everybody loves children. But you have to understand, you being nice to them, being a black man, they see it as something more nefarious. And I know that they said over the years, Michael Brothers, I think him and Jermaine, who was reported, had got into about it. And I think even his father tried to warn him about it. Because, like I said before, it don't take much for people to paint us as the bad guy. Case in point, look what Oprah was able to do. She basically gave those guys a cover. Just like what you saw with the documentary R. Kelly, which you saw and whatnot, and you sit there and then you saw the documentary on Bill Cosby. You don't see none of these whites. They're not being pushed, they're not being promoted. So I just wanted to mention that before I go into this other commentary about the Jacksons, and surprise, surprise, just going to be about Paris Jackson. You guys, if you've been following me, you know that I had told you guys right after Michael Jackson's death, I said his kids are mourning. I can understand it, losing a parent, but they lost a parent as teenagers, preteens, not exactly teenagers. They were just about to enter their teenage years, and it obviously traumatized the younger brother. He was a little kid, you know. He had his memories. He had a short time with Michael, but the older two knew Michael enough, and the brother, he's loyal to Mike, his father's memory, and to the Jackson family, because they the only one that ever truly took up for them, accept them, and everybody else been having their hands stuck out. But parents did something that after Michael died, maybe about a year or two after he died, that started to rub me the wrong way. She started wanting to hang around that white side of the family. And the thing is, her mother basically sold her and her brother away. Michael and Debbie Rowe came to agreement that, you know, Michael be the parent. He would be the custodial parent. And Debbie Rowe, she wanted money, and she took it. And she would have never been in those kids' life if Michael never died. Now, as they got older, they probably said, we want to know who our mom is. And at that point, Michael would have no choice but to let his children interact with their mom. But the thing is, when she interacted with her mom, she threw the Jackson family under the bus. Grandmother, she threw Janet and Randy under the bus. But her brothers never did that. And she was doing a lot of questionable things. People talking about she gonna commit suicide, everything. So this poor girl, what did the Jackson family do? They blame the family instead of looking at the girl and saying, wait a minute, you have to understand, she's not technically a blood relation of Michael Jackson or his family. It's obvious that this girl and her brother, her older brother, are white. But that doesn't mean any less Michael Jackson kids. Once you adopt them, they're yours. They share your name. You know, a lot of people don't know that when you adopt children, or even on a birth certificate, they put you down as a parent. Now, not the birth parent, but they put you down as a parent, as the parents. I know this because I have adopted siblings. But anyways, she was showing a natural ass, getting on social media, doing all kinds of things. And I said in the video, I said her whiteness is showing, or her white female side, that female is showing, because she was acting at a young age like a lot of young white females, and she was doing things. And if you saw images of her, you saw always around white folks, her boyfriend, whatever. Well, when that documentary, or I call the hippies, came out, people's like wondering why hasn't Paris said anything, because she used to be vocal about anything else. She was very quiet. And, you know, people tried to rationalize, and I did a video, I'm like, that's weird. She can get vocal about everything else, but she's quiet on this one. So it says something. Well, we all know that 50 Cent like to troll people. And let me say this, 50 Cent's an immature dude. He's 43, 44 years old. He got to stop trolling, making fun of picking on people. This dude has a history of doing this. But then, and that's why I said, like, God bless idiots to get rich and famous and whatnot. And they out here just pick, like I guarantee he's a bully. We all know he's a game banger. I guarantee he's a bully, because he's acting like one. He's using social media now. But anyways, 50 Cent said something about her father. And he was talking about Chris Brown. Talking about Chris Brown was better than Michael. You know, Chris was doing all that. And y'all remember, I did videos where I talked about how Michael Jackson said Chris is the next thing. Michael sang praise on Chris, because Chris was out emulating Michael Jackson in ways. I mean, there have been other people emulating Michael Jackson. There have been, you know, like Michael Jackson performance and stuff, but I'm talking about artists. Even Usher didn't come close to doing this. And Michael sung praises of Chris Brown. And when Michael did that, everybody started looking at Chris a little bit more. And that's why I think when the whole thing Rihanna went down, people was quick to pounce, because he had got blessed by the king. I call Michael Jackson king of music or entertainment. I don't call him the king of pop, because you diluting what the man's been did prior to white folks really discovering. But anyways, 50 Cent was saying that, you know, Chris is better than Mike. Mike didn't do all this other stuff. And then he mentioned about Michael Jackson and little boys. And Chris Brown to push back on that. You know, he didn't find it funny. And I think some other rappers, some other entertainers pushed back at 50 Cent. But the one who pushed back the loudest was Michael's daughter. And my thing is that we all know that 50 Cent like to troll people, but you know, Chris Brown put, and the media didn't really report that. Chris like, nah, man, don't do that. I ain't feeling that. But the thing is, people didn't have not pointed out the fact that Paris never called out Robeson or Safe Chuck or Oprah or the countless other people that have been bad mouthing her father. But as soon as 50 Cent said something on social media, she was there to say something. Now that stands out to me. Now, like I said, what 50 Cent said was disrespectful. I'm not a 50 Cent fan. I'm going to be honest with you. There's a couple of things I like with 50 Cent, but I think it's more the beat. I don't like the lyrics. Like I said, I'm not a game banger. I'm not about that life, so I don't like seeing it glamorized. And 50 Cent been getting caught making fun of innocent people. I remember he was in the airport where he was messing with somebody. Obviously he had a special needs and stuff. Tell people call him out on it and everything. And like I said, cats like him, they've been blessed. But I told you, in the entertainment industry, they find people like him. They know he's never going to push back against the system because he don't call nothing else out. But he'll make fun of Michael Jackson because right now Michael Jackson is an easy target. But the thing is, Paris didn't say nothing about Robeson and Safe Chuck or Oprah Winfrey or these other celebrities that have been talking about her dad the last 5 or 6 months. You see what I'm saying? Now I know some of y'all might figure out where I'm going with this. Where it is, she's a white female, and she ain't gonna go against white males like that. Even though that's her, Michael was her father, he raised her, he loved her. She won't call him out, but she'll say something about 50 Cent. She'll call out 50 Cent. Yeah. She could have used the same logic. I let my father fans or people that know my father defend. I'm going to be silent. She could use that same logic, but she didn't. Why? Because she's a white female, and she figured, how dare this black man say something directed towards my family? But the white dude sat up and lied. Even before people stopped pointing out inconsistencies in the story, everybody know that Robeson and Safe Chuck only started yelling about Michael Jackson when they got turned away from having anything to do with Michael Jackson estate. But the American media don't want to talk about that. But my thing is, Paris is showing a constant habit of poking at certain black folk when they say something. I mean, look what she tried to do with her Aunt Janet and her Uncle Randy. And Janet put her foot down. That's why, if you notice, you don't ever hear Janet talk about her nieces and nephews like that. If like that, you notice LaToya used to be around them all the time, and LaToya pulled back from them a little bit. You notice Tito in them when they show Michael children, usually the youngest or the oldest, but not Paris. Because I think the Jacksons probably got a whiff of her attitude. Now, yeah, maybe somebody told her not to say anything those months prior, but she should have been more vocal. 50 Cent ain't the only one that made a crass Michael Jackson joke about him and little boys, but she goes after 50 Cent. Now, I'm not a fan of 50 Cent, and he was wrong, but I got to call out what I see as hypocrisy. But obviously, that her whiteness is showing. See, she'll say something to a black dude, but the white dudes that got vulgar and graphic, and talking about Michael did this and all this other stuff where there's no proof. You know what I mean? You got tons of video with Robeson and Safe Chuck and these other people defending Michael as adults. Then as soon as they found out Michael State's making all that money, we want to be a part of them. They said no. Now all of a sudden Michael became a child molester. And you saw how fast public opinion changed on Michael overnight this year. But I told y'all 2 years prior they was working on going after Michael. This is the 10th year of this man's death. You saw not a special, nothing acknowledging him. Even if you thought that he did what he did, you still acknowledge him. Elvis Presley, every year they found a way to do a documentary and acknowledge him. What's his name? Jerry Lee Lewis. They even had a movie done after Great Balls of Fire back in the 80s. Dennis Quaid played him. I remember when Winona Ryder was his co-star. I remember that. We sit back and we pick and choose. Look what happened the other day. Scarlett Johansson defended Woody Allen. But we vilified Michael Jackson because you have to believe that this black guy did what they accused him of doing. And it took a black woman to give those white guys cover. See, Oprah forever. I can't say what I really want to say about Oprah on YouTube, but if it happens, I wouldn't shed a tear. She rotten, and look, and she posed. If you notice, you see she's posed with Paris Jackson. It just speaks volumes to me. Michael Boyce, I think they did pose where I find this image more coveted, than anything. Paris just her Aunt Janet. Paris just her grandmother. Because when Michael died, they was all there in white America, or a segment of white America, like, get them white kids away from the Negroes. Oh, you know they used the other word. That's why Bill O'Reilly, Sean Hannity, that representative Peter King, Maurice Orth, and Gloria Allred, Lisa Bloom, and Dr. Phil was talking stuff. There were a lot of people talking a lot of stuff, and Oprah gave cover. She gave cover, and then went on Comedy Central, Trevor Noah, and trying to say that we're hating on her. But the thing is, she didn't criticize Oprah for exploiting her father, or giving those guys cover, or giving them some type of name recognition. Oprah just saw another way to stick to Mike. Mike ain't did nothing to her. But I find it weird that the daughter would sit there and have something to say about 50 Cent when everybody else been making jokes. She didn't criticize MTV. She didn't criticize the Motown Special. That's not to say what 50 Cent said wasn't wrong. But she had something to say about 50 Cent push back on him. Now, like I said, 50 Cent has said some things, and I just shook my head. I'm like, come on, man, you 40-some years old. You was blessed to be able to get in the rap game, make millions of dollars, and you pick on people. Use social media to pick on people. And you talking about Michael Jackson or little boys. I mean, come on, man. And there are people out there that call him out, but she came out and had something to say. And I'm like, what was that passion that when them dudes came out saying your daddy did something? Oh, because he was white. She didn't want to piss off white folk. She wanted to be accepted by white folk. If you look at Paris, she's around a lot of white folk. And I had told y'all this about 5 years. I told y'all this 7 years ago. 7 years ago, I told you guys this. I told you guys 7 years ago. For those who've been following me for nearly 10 years, 7 years ago, I did a video called out saying that she, and I even get recent videos pointing out that she's getting more to whiteness. Remember, she was hanging around her mom and everything. Her brother was like, yo, she sold us. She didn't have nothing to do with us. As soon as our father died, and heard Bill O'Reilly and them say on TV, go get them kids, because they know they're going to come into a large sum of money if they haven't already. I just think, and like I said, I'm not defending 50 Cent, but I'm calling out hypocrisy when I see it. You got something to say about Curtis making some rude and crass comments about your dad, but those other people, you didn't say nothing. You said, I let my father fans and the estate speak for himself. Wow. Very telling. I told y'all a long time ago. I saw it. I'm like, yo, for whiteness, that's one thing I think that's genetic about white females. They are not going to attack white men too long. And they're not going to attack black folk that defend them, because they need them as cover. Why did she criticize Oprah in that document? The dude was over the documentary. Why didn't she go after HBO? Her father can't defend himself. And like I said, Curtis wrong for what he said, but the thing is, she responded to him. It says a lot. These white women who knew Michael Jackson didn't show their true colors. Taylor O'Neal's talking crap about him. But you notice when Madonna defended him, they downplayed that. When Barbara Streisand defended him, they got mad at her. How dare you defend Michael Jackson? But all them white folks in Hollywood, they have gotten caught or been accused of things within recent weeks, recent years. Everybody went silent on them. But you want to paint Michael Jackson and R. Kelly and Bill Cosby and the rest as predators to society. The hypocrisy is glaring.